Hi there, and welcome to my submission for web game development named The Cosmic Mole. To start with, the project is runnable in both Replit and VS Code. You're welcome to try and run it in VS Code by following the instructions in the README file, but Replit is perfectly fine too since you can test it on mobile that way. The game is a 3D endless runner in which you have to avoid the meteorites as a mole, with the score increasing every second you're alive, and once the score reaches 100, the speed at which the meteorites spawn increases, adding to the difficulty. The player can move in 4 cardinal directions, accompanied with a sound effect when they do. On collision, their health overlaid on the screen with the rest of the game UI will decrease as they do. Despite using GLB models, the game loads rather quickly, as well as keeping a relatively stable 55 to 60 FPS. While the game is simple in level design, it still makes use of ambient light above the play area to illuminate everything, as well as a skybox to encompass a playable area. As for the website itself, visually everything is styled the same, as well as keeping each page being responsive depending on your screen size. Since it can be a bit annoying to test on your end, here is a video of me playing it live on my phone. As some extra visual flair, I've added a hamburger menu when the screen gets too small. The code I reference for it can be found here, and there's a link within the README file and source code and description of this video. As for the server side, it is running using Node and Express.js with a working 404 page deployed if you try to navigate to a page which doesn't exist. All the necessary pages are located within the static folder. When logging into the website and submitting a username and password, they are then posted to the login pages using the app.post function, which then proceeds to query the database. If successful, you will be redirected to the web game to play, and if not, you'll have to try again. The same process applies for signing up, but instead your data is inserted into the table, and you're redirected to the login page. The database, which is queried, is hosted through my free SQL hosting using phpMyAdmin. The decision was made because in order to access it, you require a password which protects the user's data. While this is how it's set up in the code, there is the ability to set it up locally through XAMPP, as long as it's under the database that I've provided in my folders. Further instructions can be found within the README file if you wish to set it up locally, as well as login details for observing the external database working online. When you log in, 3 cookies are created which are passed to the game in order to display correctly your login details and previous score. All 3 cookies will be deleted when going to the Logout tab. The username and password cookies are then used to save your new score to the database. The cookies in question will be tied to every request made to and from the server and will only disappear when the browser is closed or they are deleted. Typically, the browser has to be closed, not the tab, which then allows for a player's previous score and login details to be reloaded if they will choose to refresh the page. And that's about everything I wanted to say about my project, so thank you for listening to my submission for web game development, and goodbye.